Hello FPL managers and welcome back for another video. My name's Jack and today we're going over the new Premier League fixtures that have been announced for the 2023/24 season. We finally have the Prem fixtures available to us, so we're going to have a look at those from an FPL standpoint. Who's got the best fixtures, what players you guys should be looking out for this upcoming FPL season. If you guys are looking forward to the FPL videos for the upcoming year, leave a like and subscribe. We're going to be posting lots of pre-season content and of course FPL content all throughout the season, so join us on that journey and make sure you don't miss any future FPL videos. Click the notification bell as well, and with that being said, let's jump into the video. So let's go through the fixtures team by team. First up, Arsenal's fixtures are looking really good across the first 6 game weeks. Obviously, Arsenal do have a lot of good FPL options, whether you want to go for their defenders. Ramsdale, Ben White, Gabriel, Saliba, all going to be really good picks in defence. Zinchenko as well, all quality defensive options. They've all got decent attacking potential, especially Ben White and Zinchenko. And Ramsdale's always there in goals for clean sheets as well. Plus, they've got great attacking assets, Saka, Martinelli, Jesus, but mainly Saka, Martinelli. They're really good picks. Odegaard as well in midfield, all going to be good options looking, or FPL managers that they'll be looking to target those type of guys. Forest, Palace, Fulham, United, Everton, Spurs, their first 6, a really good set of starting fixtures, so I like those Arsenal options. Next up, Aston Villa, a really good set of fixtures as well. Newcastle and Liverpool, probably the 2 trickier fixtures there in their first 6 game weeks, but outside of that, some pretty strong fixtures. They face the promoted side of Burnley, Everton at home, Crystal Palace at home, a couple of good home fixtures in there. Aston Villa have a couple of good options. Their defence was really strong last season as well, one of their better defensive seasons, so Emi Martinez and goals could be a good option. Watkins was back to his brilliant best last season, picking up a lot of goals, had a great run in terms of goal scoring towards the back end of last year, so I like Ollie Watkins up top. Bournemouth, on the other hand, don't really have too many outstanding FPL options or great fixtures either. Probably one of the worst run of fixtures for the start of the season. Brentford, on the other hand, do have some strong fixtures. Spurs at home as they're opening a fixture of the 2023/24 campaign. Maybe a bit of a challenge, but Fulham, Palace, Bournemouth, Everton are some great fixtures in there from game weeks 2 through 6. So Brentford, they have a couple of good defensive assets. Obviously, they've got a few good attacking options as well, but I like Henry, Ben Mee, Raya in goals as well. If he's coming in at 4.5, he could be a great starting keeper with these fixtures. It will be a toss-up between him and the Brighton goalkeeper. As you can see here, Brighton also have some good fixtures as well. And Sanchez, depending on who is going to get the nod, still could get the nod for more starts with Brighton. We saw him get a few starts at the end of last season, so we'll have to see who is Brighton's preferred goalkeeper, as they have some really good fixtures. There could be a bit of a risk going for a Brighton goalkeeper. They do get rotated, but Luton, Wolves, West Ham as their first three excellent fixtures to start the new season. So I'd like Brighton's starting 6 fixtures. Burnley definitely do have one of the harder fixtures runs as well. City, Spurs and Manchester United as 3 out of their first 6. Not too many standout Burnley options either, obviously being a newly promoted team. I'm not massively keen on their assets, and especially with this fixture run as well. Maybe you go for a 4.5 mid from Burnley that's going to play every week. That'd probably be the only type of play from Burnley that I would go for. Otherwise, looking at Chelsea's fixtures, a harder start to the season. Liverpool at home, definitely not the best fixture. Neither is West Ham away, but from game weeks 3 till 6, a very solid run of fixtures. Luton, Forest, Bournemouth, Aston Villa. So maybe you could look towards those Chelsea defensive options. They were a bit leaky at the back last season, but Ben Chilwell and Reece James, assuming they're going to be fit, always going to be strong defensive options, and I do think they're going to be very big differentials for the new season due to their low FPL points scoring tally last season. So maybe with those fixtures, especially in game weeks 3, 4, 5, you could go after their defenders. Crystal Palace, a mixed bag of fixtures. Yes, they have Sheffield in game week 1, but then they've got Arsenal and Brentford away in game weeks 2 and 3. Wolves at home, not the worst from an attacking perspective. Aston Villa away is a little bit tricky as well, as is Fulham. They had a great season last year, so not great fixtures for Crystal Palace starting off the year, so I probably wouldn't be targeting too many of their assets. Everton likewise as well, don't have too many standard options. Maybe you could go for Dominic Calvert-Lewin Calvert-Lewin, if he's fit and ready to go for Everton at the start of the year. Fulham, Villa, Wolves and Sheffield, four fairly good fixtures to start the new season. Looking at some other teams, Fulham, they have an okay fixture run as well. Tricky fixtures there against Brentford, Arsenal and Manchester City. Outside of that, not too bad. Liverpool, a team with also fairly strong fixtures. Chelsea away definitely isn't the worst fixture, depending on just based off how poor Chelsea's last season was. Then they have Bournemouth at home game week 2, who they put 9 past in this same fixture last season. Newcastle away is a bit tricky, but then Villa, Wolves, West Ham, 3 quality fixtures. So I think Mo Salah always on the cards as a good FPL option. Had a great end to last FPL season, despite not having the best start to his campaign. Luton Town's fixtures, once again, a bit of a mixed bag. Brighton away is a bit tricky. Chelsea away is a bit tricky, as are West Ham and Fulham. So I probably wouldn't go for any Luton options. Man City, on the other hand, probably, in my opinion, have the best fixture run across the first 6 fixtures. Burnley, Newcastle, Sheffield, Fulham, West Ham, Forest. Erling Haaland's obviously going to be a compulsory option. Plus, you could go for a double up, if not a triple up, of Manchester City options, depending on whether you want to take the risk with that Pep rotation in the side. Manchester United as well, another team with some really good fixtures. Wolves at home in game week 1 is a great fixture. Spurs away is a little bit tricky, but they were a bit leaky at the back last season as well. Forest at home is a good fixture. Arsenal away a little bit more difficult, but then Brighton at home and Burnley away, 2 quality fixtures there in game weeks 5 and 6 for Manchester United. So of course Rashford always going to be a good option there. Fernandes could be a decent differential for Manchester United. Luke Shaw and De Gea, I think, are my 2 favourite defensive options from United this season. They were very good last season as well, but going into this season, I think Luke Shaw and De Gea will be 2 quality picks. Newcastle, they've been very unlucky with their fixture run at the start of the year. A bit of a rough start to the season. Villa, City, Liverpool, Brighton, Brentford as their first 5. 5 fairly tricky fixtures. Obviously, Trippier, an extremely popular pick last season, but I'm not too sure personally that I'm going to be going for him in the first 5 weeks, just given these fixtures and Newcastle's poor defensive form after the resumption of the Premier League after the World Cup. Newcastle recorded one of the lowest clean sheet tallies of any team from game week 18 onwards, so not a massive fan of those Newcastle assets to start the year, nor am I a fan of those Forest assets or Sheffield United assets, as their fixtures aren't the best either. Spurs have an okay fixture run though in their first 5. Brentford, United, Bournemouth, Burnley, Sheffield. Harry Kane, an incredibly slept on player last season for his FPL point scoring ability. He didn't have a great ownership across the whole year. He just consistently produced FPL points, was one of the highest scoring players behind Erling Haaland in terms of FPL points output last season. So I think he's going to be a really good option. I'm not sure many people are going to go for him just because Salah and Haaland will be 2 very popular premium options, but Kane is always there as an extremely reliable FPL point source. He consistently finds himself goals. We'll have to see whether he stays at Spurs though. It's going to be an interesting transfer window for Harry Kane, but if he does stay at Tottenham, then I think he's going to be a solid option once again. He's going to be a good option regardless of where he goes in the Premier League. If he does stay in the Premier League, I think he's going to be a good option. So I think Kane always a decent differential premium pick there. And then looking at the last 2 sides in West Ham and Wolves. West Ham have a decent first 4 fixtures. Bournemouth, Chelsea, Brighton, Luton, City and Liverpool in game weeks 5 and 6 is not great. I probably wouldn't go for any West Ham assets to start the year. Not too many standard options there, nor would I go for any Wolves picks. Previously, in previous seasons, they were a good defensive outfit. Not quite as many clean sheets last season. And with Manchester United and Brighton as their first 2 fixtures, who were 2 sides that did pretty well in the goal-scoring front last year, I wouldn't be massively keen on too many Wolves options. Obviously, they are a side that don't score too many goals, so I wouldn't be going after too many of their attacking options in terms of midfield and forward FPL picks. Maybe you could look towards their defensive options from game weeks 2 through 6, Brighton, Everton, Crystal Palace. Liverpool's a difficult one, but then Luton away in game week 6, not a bad fixture, so maybe you could go for a Wolves defender as a differential there, but personally, with the amount of away fixtures they have to start the season, I'm not a massive fan of too many Wolves FPL options. And that is pretty much everyone's fixtures across the first 6 game weeks. To summarise, I really like Man City's fixtures. A double up of Man City, or maybe a triple up if you're feeling a bit risky, could be worthwhile. Manchester United's fixtures are fairly strong as well. A good chance for some captaincy rotation between Rashford and Haaland based on those fixtures. Arsenal have some pretty good fixtures, as do Liverpool as well. So I think those teams, obviously a lot of popular FPL options do come from those big sides. So I think there's definitely some good fixtures there to target early on in the season. And I'm excited to see how teams do shape up for game week 1. one. Now that's pretty much what the first 6 game weeks look like for all 20 teams in the Premier League. So thanks for watching today's fixture announcement for the 2023/24 season. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, leave a like and subscribe. Also drop a comment whose fixtures you like the most and what your team's fixtures are looking like for the upcoming Premier League campaign. I'd be interested to get your guys' thoughts as well. As always, have those notification bells turned on so you don't miss any future videos. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.